And I'll tell you, this is worth the price of admission, I think. The 5 steps in developing a self-control program. You might want to look through this because this has in it the whole concept then of how you reward yourself with delayed gratification. And why I think this is so important is that anyone who achieves anything in life probably involves themselves with delayed gratification. Even Hillary Clinton couldn't make $100,000 in the cattle futures without some degree of delayed gratification. Hers wasn't as long as most of ours. But for example, you folks, you are involved in a program where you have a short-term pain. You're putting out money, you're putting out your time, you're getting up early in the morning, all that kind of stuff for a long-term gain. And I was involved in the same thing with a doctoral program. It was interesting how one of the things that I used to reward myself, several things I used. One of them was just the idea of what the title of a doctorate would look like. I pasted above my computer where I'd worked, the Reverend Thomas R. Allersmeyer, comma, PhD, the Reverend Dr. Thomas R. Allersmeyer. For me, that was a visualization, that was a reward. It was something that focused me on a long-term reward as opposed to just the short-term gratification I would have gotten from taking a nap or doing anything other than that particular exercise of working on the dissertation. By the way, I'm reading a book on a classical book on the whole thing of time management. And do you know that one of the key steps in finishing a task is to focus on getting it started? And that seems to be rather mundane, not too profound. But the point they're making that ties right into this is that when you start it, that's a reward. Hey, I did it, I started it. But see, most of us, when we look at a big task, we look at, oh, it's going to take me so long to get to the end of it. This book says, don't worry about the end. Worry about starting it. And I don't know, for me, that's been helpful because I am not a very good delayed gratification person. I like immediate gratification. My wife will tell you, if we're on a trip and I have to go potty, the car pulls over. Okay, I'm not a delayed gratification sort of a guy. But what's interesting about this, I do get the gratification of, great, I started the project. There's a reward in that. Also on this dissertation, I had to set little stages of gratification. I had certain people I arranged that I would check in with who would celebrate with me when I finished something. I would print it out on my computer so I could see it there. I would hole punch it and put it into a notebook so I could feel that book emerge. Those were short step gratifications for me, rewards. So you might want to look at these 5 steps in developing a self-control program. And basically, in whatever area of your life it might be. Laura, look at me, Ben.
Look at him. But let everybody know. I told ya.
Wow.
I told ya. I see that.
What is?
Martha, look at bar stack. Take it on the ice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's right here. Sam, guys, sit down. Sit down.
Oh, neat, Ben.
All right,
Ben won't be doing that.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. Coloring book of those. Jeez, play baseball. Here, look over this side. Look over this side.
Wow.
Look on there. Hey,
Coloring and activity book?
Peter, look at Podium.
Wow.
Thank you,
Just hold it.
Oh, I'll hold it.
Did you notice how obedient they are the minute they get money? Read
Let's
it.
hear it, Ben. Read it out loud.
I'm reading.
No, so we can hear it.
This, Bobby,
Oh,
likes Oh, Brandon.
Ben, don't rip the box. Don't.
Oh, great. Look, Ben. A bicycle helmet.
That's from this one.
Get him, Abby! It's just a name tag.
That's all right.
Ooh, you're scaring me. Abby. I mean, that's just a tag. It's not a card.
Is that
We played it.
It's really fun.
I'll tell you how to play it.
It's fun. It's I love you. Like you see this
XXO, what does that mean?
Oh no.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Benny. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Benny.
Make your wish. It's hard to blow them all at the same time when they're in a horseshoe. Here, start blowing and I'll turn it on.
No, just wait. Leave it.
Make
Turn
your
around
wish.
exactly the other way and just let him do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yay!
I can't clap.
All right, Ben.
Guys, you're going to use very special spoons to eat this sherbet with. Now everybody take your finger like this, bend it a little bit, and practice scooping.
Oh,
That's
hey,
how
you
you
know
gotta
what?
keep
Hey,
this.
we should get some spoons.
Where are we going to get them? They can rest their hands up.
There's no time for hours. Like this. Okay. Those are not stainless. Ooh, goody.
But you got to eat it fast.
I don't like this.
You do a two-scoop method.
To build a fire.
How's yours? I think
Jonathan
might be the scoop winner.
I got the biggest one. My finger's cold. No. See how big I got? Travis. Okay. Who wants one? I got one bigger than that. Hey, Travis. Dad, do you want sugar?
Not just now.
Yeah?
No, thanks, not now.
I didn't get
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ben. Happy birthday to you.
Ben Ollismeyer, 7 years old.
I've never been kissed.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
I don't know. One of his cousins tried to kiss him on the boat. But he got away from her, didn't you?
I'm gonna be 8 next week. Well, we're gonna stop.
Oh, he's gonna kick it. Okay, just kick it back. Okay, no, that was just, you just kick it back. That's the way you want to kick it, Aaron. Oh, I missed him. Here we go. Just right here. No. You clean that off right now. Wipe it off. Get it all wiped off. Hurry up. All right, here we go. Who's up, Sam? You guys back up. Hey, you better get back. Here we go. Strike one.
I didn't know there were strikes in kickball.
One strike and I don't know how many else.
Strike two. See a mean look, like Bucky O'Hare. All right, here we go. Now Sammy, where you gonna run when you kick it? Where to? Okay, here we go. Strike one. Strike two. Okay, hold on. Sammy, be good. Okay, no, not yet. Wait, come back. That was a foul ball. Here we go. Ready? Wait, Sammy. Sammy. Do another one, Sammy. Here we go. Run! Run, Sammy! Everybody out. Yeah, that's one out. All right, here we go.
Let me see. Scouts go.
Sammy.
Ooh.
Sammy. You'll love it. I know what it is. So do I. Oh yeah. A tack. Awesome. Mom, look it. A plane of tack. Push here. Push there. Push there. Push both of them at the same time. Let me try. Push them together. Push them together. Benjamin, let me. Benjamin.
Right here.
I should qualify that. Some of the things are going to be fact, and some things are going to be fiction, and only Tom will know the difference between. But one of the common themes that you'll hear tonight is about his absent-mindedness. Every single letter that we got, every single fax, and every one of us know how absent-minded he refers to it. He's got his own diagnosis: attention deficit disorder. He also is a terrible driver, as it becomes obvious. We see him sliding around the corner, coming in late for their church sometimes in the middle of the winter. But we've got letters from all over the place. California, he's been a bad driver. Wassiani, he's been a bad driver. And Boca Raton. I think that's one of the reasons he left Florida. He had so many tickets outstanding. So he had to go to another state. But he also blames that on an attention deficit disorder. The other thing that goes through all of these letters that I've received is that he can't make his mind up on what he wants to do when and if he grows up. I think he calls that an occupational deficit disorder. The roast, I think, is a great idea because it may in fact be therapy for him. You know, Tom is the spiritual leader of our congregation, but it's kind of frightening to think that he is the one that's giving us advice on our personal lives. Tonight we're going to discuss some of his psychological or psychiatric problems, hopefully in jest. Again, some of the parts are fact and some of the parts are fiction. But I hope that they blend together to be an enjoyable evening. I'm personally glad that we have a pastor that has such a sense of humor that would attend such a roast. It would even be funnier if he didn't show up. And we had an absent rocking chair. But hopefully at the end of the evening, maybe he'll recognize some of these personality disorders that he has. We won't have to pay for the psychiatrist. Before I introduce, we have a number of speakers this evening. I have a couple faxes that I'd like to read. The first fax came from his brother Dave. I don't know why anybody would admit they're his brother. To my brother Tom, on this most auspicious occasion, I apologize for not being there in person and having to fax these comments. But when somebody told me that my favorite brother was being honored by his congregation, I immediately drove to Cincinnati. Once I realized that it was you being honored, and that it was for 40 years, I must confess that I had to hesitate and think whether it was 40 years old or 40 years in the ministry. Looking over your 40 years, I consider the following among your greatest accomplishments. First, convincing Grandma Allersmeyer that she had never purchased that bag of Brock's Rich Mix after we had sneaked it out and eaten it the night before. I don't know if these things are true or not, only he knows. Being able to get dates in high school even though you looked like Alfred E. Newman. climbing through my bedroom window after a night on the town in order to avoid Mom and Dad at the front door. Being able to radio Tokyo with such a small antenna. I want to express my gratitude for your 40 years of blazing trails for your younger siblings. By avoiding your many mistakes, we have stayed in good stead with Mom and Dad. Finally, my congratulations to you on reaching 40 years, which many will recognize as no small feat, considering your driving habits. See how these things kind of weave together? This is a fax from Brother Steve. He says the top 10 reasons why Brother Steve could not make it to Brother Tom's roast. Number 10, just finished spending 3 days with Tom at the Ohio District Convention and needs more time to recover from that experience. Number 9, needs time to prepare for Sunday morning worship, which any pastor worth his salt would be doing at this time as well. Number 8, gets nauseated by the smell of burning fat. Number 7, has to go out and stock up on snacks and Diet Pepper for when Brother Tom comes to Cincinnati next week. Didn't want him to get confused by thinking President Al Berry was in attendance.
He looks like Al Berry. He's a dead rigger.
Wanted to finish reading the book, How to Survive as a Middle Child, when the eldest sibling gets all the attention. Couldn't get a clergy discount on the tickets for this event. Couldn't bear the thought of witnessing yet another incident of Brother Tom embarrassing the family name. Number 2, was afraid Brother Tom might keep him up all night playing cards, since Tom doesn't quit until he wins. And number 1, thought it inappropriate to make fun of the largest Lutheran body in America. Then we had another fax, not from a brother, but a friend of his, Matt DeAugustine.
Oh my God.
Out in California.
Out in California. And I won't read the entire thing, but he talked about some basketball experiences. One of the things he talked about was that no one before or since Tom has ever backed out of our driveway and run smack into Mrs. McManus's car parked across the street.
With the church band, the boom.
But there's quite a number of experiences about Tom's driving habits that we'll be able to talk to you about this evening. At this point, I'd like to introduce Mike Gibson, who is our first speaker. Mike, you're here.
A little two-man skit here. Go back in time with us to 1979. A young seminary student, Thomas Allersmeyer, is fallen in love with a young lady named Janet. And he's fallen in love with her, and he's agonizing over the decision of whether or not to ask her to marry him. You'll be able to tell this is 15 years ago because the person playing Pastor Allersmeyer is a full head of hair and slimmer build. That would be myself. And Dennis Kranz will be the voice of God. Our scene starts with young Thomas taking his problem to the Lord in prayer. Dear Lord, I come before you seeking your guidance. You have blessed me by bringing Janet into my life. I have quickly grown to love her, and I feel she loves me. Yet I agonize and struggle with the decision of whether I should ask her to live the troubled life of a pastor's wife. Lord, I need your help.
Certainly, Thomas.
Who said that?
I did.
Stephen, is that you?
Thomas, you know your brother Steve is at home in Indiana. It is I, your Lord.
Okay.
I know you have been struggling with this decision, and I felt it was important to make myself available to answer your questions.
All right. Okay, so should I ask her to marry me or not?
Thomas, that is a decision only you can make.
Well, you're going to be a lot of help.
Thomas, I will answer your questions, but I will not make your decisions for you.
Well, you should help since you created the problem in the first place.
How so, Thomas?
Well, I wouldn't be in this spot if we hadn't made her so beautiful.
I did that, Thomas, so that you would be attracted to her.
Well, it worked. And then you go and make her so warm and affectionate.
I did that so that you would fall in love with her.
Well, that worked too. But answer me this. Sometimes, I'm not trying to be negative here, but sometimes she does some things, quite frankly, she seems a bit naive.
Well, Thomas, I had to make her that way so that she would fall in love with you.
Underneath the magnifying glass of the congregation. And I don't even know where we would live. I haven't even received my first call yet.
Thomas, I think you know the answers to those questions. You know how strong Janet's faith is. It will see her through any tough times. And you know how much she loves you. She will go with you wherever you are called.
Really? So, where do you think I might get a call to?
Thomas, you will learn that when the time is right.
Do you think maybe you could get me into one of the real hotbeds of Christianity, like Chicago, or the Holy City, St. Louis?
Thomas, I don't think this is appropriate.
Oh, come on, just tell me one.
Very well, Thomas. It won't be your first call, but I was thinking that down the road, Toledo would be good for you.
Toledo?
Yes, Toledo.
So you're saying Janet would follow me to Toledo?
Yes, Thomas, she would.
Well, that settles it then. I'm asking her to marry me.
Very well. How?
How?
Yes, how will you propose?
Well, I have been thinking about that. And you see, I walk up real nonchalant. Oh, here, I'll show you. Gotta wait for just the right moment.
Thomas, that's not very creative.
You don't like it?
No.
I've been working on that all week.
Thomas, sometimes you have a tendency to focus too much on mundane, everyday type things. You need to be more creative. You need to have more vision.
But Lord, I am what you made me. If you haven't blessed me with the talent of creativity or vision, how can I be creative or have vision?
Well, I just think you could try harder.
Lord, send me your spirit. Make me creative. Better yet, make me a visionary.
Thomas, there are only so many visionaries in the world. I couldn't bless you with that gift without without taking it away from someone else.
Well, is there anyone out there who doesn't want to be a visionary? Maybe we could make a trade.
A trade?
Yeah, I get his gift of vision and he gets something that I get.
Well, there is a young man in Chicago who seems to be struggling with being a visionary. I think his name is Winterstein. He does seem more suited to administrative type duties.
Well, there you go then. Give me his talent, let me be the visionary.
And you would be willing to give something up in exchange for this?
Yeah, you name it.
Very well, Thomas. From this day forward, you will be a visionary. You will see things on a grand scale. Small will become the least word used in your vocabulary. But I caution you to use this gift wisely.
No problem, no problem. This is great. Wow. Hey, can I be on TV?
Thomas, just relax. Don't you want to know what it is you have to give up?
Sure.
Well, in exchange for giving up his gift of vision, Charles Winterstein will receive your head of hair and your boyish good looks.
Really?
Yes, Thomas. From now on, when someone tells you that you do not look your age, it will not be a compliment.
Well, that's pretty steep, but I guess I can live with that.
Very good, Thomas. Now go and work on that proposal for Janet.
I will. I'm going to come up with something big. But could we talk about this Toledo thing?
To this. We're celebrating the pastor's 40th birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. We're also closing in very quickly on his 15th year in ministry. And I'd just like to offer a few simple statistics. Being an industrial engineer, that's something that comes natural to me, I guess. But if you think of it, that time translates into nearly 1,000 sermons. Now, that covers Sundays, midweeks, special services. At his average 15 minutes per sermon, he has held forth for 250 hours. Think of it this way. If Pastor Allersmeyer's parishioners were the average American child, then this is equivalent of 5.5 weeks of television. Imagine the tenacity of people listening to 5.5 weeks worth of sermons. Now, through his preaching and his teaching, Pastor Allersmeyer has led me to a deeper knowledge and understanding of the Scriptures. Why, just after we first visited Trinity almost 3 years ago, Pastor came calling. He phoned first. It was the regular calling night. He said it'd only take about 20 minutes. I was alone at the time. Kathy had the kids up in Michigan visiting her folks, and our apartment was lavishly furnished at that point with a card table, 2 chairs, 2 mattresses, and a borrowed stand to put the TV on. I said, sure. Now, just before he left, 3 hours later, we decided, to have a brief devotion. And being a good Lutheran, I had a copy of the King James Version of the Bible at hand, opened it up, one of those spontaneous Bible studies, and what did I see? Proverbs 25:17. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of it. Now, for some reason, not that the pastor in any way overstays his welcome. I wouldn't say that. On the contrary, I've come to find it is pleasant to have conversations with him consisting of more than 3-word sound bites. When we were first surveying the churches in Toledo, we were drawn to the fact that pastor had a PhD in communications. Preaching is certainly a way of life for someone with credentials like that. There's no doubt in anyone's mind about pastors' ability to pilot higher and deeper. His sermons will either raise the level of understanding of the listener or feed the sleep of the pew sitter. Either way, his preaching correctly includes both law and gospel. Certainly he heeds the law in that the mind can only absorb what the seed can endure. The good news, though, is that when he is finished, we only have the offering, the prayer, the benediction, and final hymn to get through before